stop the noise. Great, let's start it to work. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome aboard the tram. My name is Fernando. I'm going to be your tour guide this afternoon. Our driver's name is Dennis. On behalf of
for 6,000 people. The theaters range in size from 200 seats to 900 seats. The largest theaters have full balconies, and all 18 are equipped with Dolby stereo sound. Not only that, there's a little cafe in there that serves French pastries and that sort of thing in addition to your normal snack bars. An excellent place to see a movie with 18 to choose from. That little something there for everybody. Movies over 70 years ago when Carl Lemley, the founder of Universal, bought a ranch called the Golden Oak Ranch. Now back then, the ranch was a perfect place to make movies because, well, most movies were westerns, and some of the classic western stars got their start here. People like Audie Murphy, The Future, and E.T., the Extraterrestrial. But we'll be taking you on the sets of many of these films as well as many others, and a lot of our TV shows today, like Simon & Simon, Murder, She Wrote, and others. So definitely keep those cameras ready, out of their cases, loaded with film, lens caps off, and ready to shoot. You can take pictures of anything you like as long as they're not for commercial purposes. In fact, on my side of the tram is an excellent picture-taking spot right now. Down below, a beautiful view of the Universal Studios back lot. Our back lot covers over 420 acres of prime San Fernando Valley land. And down there is where we keep the facades we use for exterior filming. We have facades down there dressed to look like New York streets, old western towns. There's a little Mexican village and a little European village as well. While we're exploring down there, we'll see the home where Wally and the Beav grew up in the original Leave It to Beaver, and see the house where Anthony Perkins lived in Psycho, as well as Psycho 2 and 3. So there are a lot of exciting things to see along the way, and a lot of special surprises. I think you'll enjoy exploring down there. But before we head down to the back lot, we're going to move down to the front lot and go inside of one of our sound stages. Inside this sound stage, we'll show you how special effects for motion pictures and television are created. It's a fascinating spaceship. No, we're just, hold on, we're not going anywhere with you, Chrome Dome. This is a tour tram, you know, forget it. Okay, anyway, we're going by. We're moving. I said we're moving. Come on, don't shoot again. We're moving. Come on. Guess they didn't get breakfast this morning. They're in a bad mood. Anyway, Cliff, where are you going? Oh no, the driver. He's under mind control by the aliens. He's become one of them. He's taking us into their ship, folks. We're in big trouble here. Cliff, step on the Eagle. We're in trouble. They got us in a tractor beam. Hold on, folks. Oh, I don't like the looks of this. What a way to start the day. Oh yeah, look at the size of the bugs in this building. Hi, over here. Who are you?
I am the Imperious Leader, and you are now under my control.
I guess Imperious Leader, all right, story.
You will be vaporized in 30 seconds.
Vaporized? No, wait.
Centurion, activate the death beam.
Death beam? Wait a minute, that's it. Get us out of here, Cliff. This guy's
Silence, human. Escape is impossible.
Oh no, we're surrounded on both sides.
Unauthorized entry. Who dares defy the Imperious Leader?
Captain Apollo. Origin. Battlestar Galactica.
Captain Paul.
I've heard of him.
Terminate him and destroy the human being.
In the name of the Federation, I demand the release of the human.
Apollo, you will not leave this ship alive. Annihilate them.
Oh, Apollo, go get him. Blast him. Ah, you're in trouble now, lizard man.
Stop it.
Self-destruction activated.
Get out of here! This ship is gonna blow!
You will not escape. You and the humans will not survive.
Hurry! Get that tram out of here!
We're going. Thank you. Let's hear it from something you don't see every day, huh? Well, I do. Well, anyway, as I was trying to tell you before we were abducted by the aliens, we're now heading down to the sound stages. Those are the large tan buildings on my side of the tram with the gray trim. There are 35 sound stages down there in all. Now, right now, in one of our sound stages, Shelley Long still has a set up from new motion picture she's working on called Be Prepared. It's a full-size mansion inside of Soundstage 25. Be Prepared is the shooting title for this new motion picture throughout this winter. And you might want to look out for that. Now, I say shooting title because it may change before it's released. Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito were recently working down there on their new motion picture, Twins. They play a pair of identical twins, only their mother can tell them apart. On my side, wait a minute, quick, the mansion's on fire. On my side, the mansion's on fire. Quick, you gotta call somebody. Call quick for marshmallows, hot dogs, hamburgers. Don't worry, the flames are real, the mansion isn't. It's just a facade. Facade just means false front in French, as you see. That's all we use for exterior filming. The flames are provided by gas jets. The mansion's non-combustible. It's been burning down like that for years now. Now, as we head into the lower lot, we will be passing our dressing room, makeup, and wardrobe areas. It will be in this area for a minute. I have to get off the microphone as courtesy of people working down here. I'll be back in just a few moments. Okay, folks, once again, we're heading down to the special effects stage. It's a good time to take a look above you to the center of the aisle, memorize your row number, write it down if necessary. And also, once again, remember your tour guide's name is Paul. That's important because most likely we're going to be joined by another group down here. That group is going to join you, their tour guide's going to join me, and together we'll take you through preview center and the special effects stage. Now, we will be exiting out the driver's side of the tram awning. Right next to the front car of the tram. Once again, you're exiting out the driver's side. Go to the gray awning. I'll see you there. Those death beams, did we? Pretty scary. Were you scared as I was? I'll bet. While we're down here, if you get lost or separated from the group, just go to this white booth, knock on the door. Tell them you're in Paul's group. I'm Paul. They always know where we are. They'll probably laugh. They'll go, They don't get much amusement down here, so we try to humor them whenever possible. They do always know where we are. It's scary but true. And also, once again, remember, I'm your tour guide. Those of you in the back cars, hi, I'm Paul. I'm your tour guide for the rest of the tour, so don't forget this face. May not be much, but it's all I got, so don't forget it. I can't. And if you need restrooms, anything like that, just go over to the beige building over here. Those are the restrooms now. This is the restroom stop on the tour. This is it. And when we're reboarding the tram, there will not be time to use the restroom. So if you think you're going to need the restrooms the next hour and a half or so, use them now. And if you need a drink of water over there, they got some drinking fountains next to the restroom. It's also good if you don't need to go to the restroom, just get a big drink of water and you will. Also, if you need photo supplies, you need film, flash, batteries, videotape, anything like that, underneath the maroon awning is a Kodak booth. Remember Kodak film, Kodak flash, Kodak batteries, Kodak videotape. Guess who the sponsor is down here? And you can pick all that up there. They also have snacks. You can get cookies, crackers, candy. Redford's Wildwood Productions right over here. They just produced the Milagro Beef Field War.
Okay, everyone settle please. This picture. Are you all right? Rolling.
Marker. Action! Hello, I'm Robert Wagner. Welcome to the special effects stage. Universal Studios has asked us to take you behind the scenes, to show you what we do behind the lights and cameras to make the fantastic effects you see in motion pictures and on television look so realistic. During the next few minutes, we will take you into the workshop of some of the most famous technicians and movie-making geniuses of all time to show you their secrets. Ready, fellas? Here you will see how the spectacular special effects of the cinema are actually created. Everything you'll be seeing and doing here involves the authentic processes which motion picture artists and technicians use to create magic.
What kind of magic, Mr. Wagner?
Magic that makes you walk out of a movie theater and ask,
Why is the seat I picked in the theater always has melted milk dud in it? Always sticks to my pants. I hate that. It's just...
how did they do that?
Whoops, wrong question. How'd they do what?
In Los Angeles, in earthquake. How did Fred Astaire dance on the ceiling in Royal Wedding?
Good question.
How did they make Superman fly?
Well, you know, Mr. Wagner, I'm over here. Yeah, ever since movies were invented at the turn of the century, people have been asking themselves, how do they do that? How do they make the pictures move? They didn't realize it was just a simple sequence of pictures being flipped by at high speed. Thomas Edison, with the help of Eastman Kodak, created the original movie, The Sneeze. Now, well, when movies became more sophisticated, they became more entertaining, and people did things like oink, this, to entertain people. I don't know, it's just...
A Frenchman, Georges Méliès, started it all in 1906 with his 8-minute space epic, A Trip to the Moon. And soon, movie pioneers were amazing audiences around the world with increasingly sophisticated illusions. From the beginning, special effects have transformed imagination into visual reality.
We've got to get out of here.
Well, of course, special effects are quite different when you see them close up. What I'm lighting is an exact replica of the clay miniature which Universal used in its Flash Gordon serial. Now, fueled by ordinary 4th of July sparklers, this 1936 special effect stunned audiences who went to those Saturday matinees in those days. Now, this is what you'd have seen on the soundstage, and the final result is up there on the screen. Now, it's not quite Star Wars, but it was a beginning.
In 1901, Thomas Edison was experimenting with an anti-gravity effect. This is a recreation of a lost Edison kinetoscope. The effect is clear, but can you tell which person here is defying gravity? We built a replica of Edison's room to show you his secret.
Well, Thomas Edison found that by building a room set, laying on its side, and tilting the camera remain level with the floor, he could create the illusion of somebody defying gravity. Well, if you look up on the screen, it looks like Suzanne's sitting in a normal room playing cards, but if you look behind me, you see she's actually sitting on the wall. Now watch that screen once again as I walk across the wall like Jeff Goldblum and Fly, just to talk to her. How you doing, Suzanne? Space. Could everybody slide over just a little bit so these people can see? Because they're stuck over in the corner and won't see anything. And that would be a shame. There we go. Now, you've had a chance to meet David, you've had a chance to meet me, and today we'd like everybody to go home with a new friend here at Universal Studios. So everybody, raise your right hands. Come on, everybody, even the cool people, raise your right hands. Okay, now on the count of 3, turn around and shake hands with the person behind you. Don't put your hands down yet. 1, 2, 3, now turn around, shake hands with the person behind you. Did you make a friend? I bet you did.
A beautiful, wintry mountain scene. Right? Wrong. It's a miniature. Another special effect of creative movie making. These next scenes are so realistic, it's hard to believe that an actor never placed a foot on these sets. By building miniatures instead of full-size sets, filmmakers can take almost any point of view and create events that would otherwise be too expensive, dangerous, or destructive to shoot. These buildings are part of the most complex miniature set ever constructed. One of 2 built for Steven Spielberg's film 1941. This Pacific Ocean Park set was originally 120 feet by 90 feet. Our stage can only hold 50 feet of it. The greatest effect came when a Japanese submarine blasted the Ferris wheel. It is often too expensive to transport a cast and a crew to a faraway location. Perhaps a location no longer exists, or maybe it never existed at all. Such obstacles never stood in the way of imaginative filmmakers. They simply invented the matte painting process. In this process, a very realistic painting is combined with live action in a perfectly matching blend of artwork and cinematography. The painted portion fills in details that didn't exist. The final result? Movie magic on a grand scale. These scenes used what film technicians call a traveling matte. It's a technique that allows movie makers to put people and objects into moving scenes in a very realistic way.
Several different types of Kodak film were used to make this traveling matte sequence. Kodak is the only company to provide the motion picture industry with such a wide range of dependable film product. And Kodak has won 7 Oscars and 4 Emmys for its achievements in the science of filmmaking. Well, from the science of filmmaking to the magic of movie making. This afternoon we're going to recreate a scene from the most popular film of all time. That's Universal's E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And we have a young man, his name is Derek. He's come all the way from Colorado here to Hollywood to help us with this. And we're going to do this not just with the assistance with Derek, but with the assistance of a video system called Chroma Key. And the most important thing about Chroma Key is a blue screen. Now what happens is that the camera down here, the video camera, sees this, but it automatically and electronically eliminates the color blue. So what it sees is up there on the left-hand side, and what it does, creating that silhouette, is up on the right. Now this way we can put Derek in front of any background that we like, and this afternoon it's going to be the Hollywood Hills and the San Fernando Valley, and he's going to fly just like Elliot did in the original movie. So if you're ready, Derek, let's have lights, camera, and action. Let's have a big smile and a wave. See your folks over here? Can you wave with your right hand? Very good. You can see yourself down on the monitor there. Don't smile too much, you get bugs in your teeth up there. You having a good time? You are? Well, that's good because it's over. Let's get you down off of there. Goodness, popular young man this morning.
Create a complete sense of mood and atmosphere with music. In this scene, the music must create a sense of danger and dramatic tension, and it must do it in the Miami Vice style.
We can hear how much the music adds to the scene. Then the finishing touches in the audio production process are added, the sound effects.
Now don't laugh, they make a good living at that. Those are Foley artists. What they do is create the sound effects you hear in motion pictures and television. A lot of the sounds recorded during filming can't be used. For instance, on this take, you heard the director's voice. A lot of sounds aren't dramatic enough, so they're recreated on a Foley stage. I'm going to show you how that works on our miniature Foley stage. We have a little carpeting down here for footsteps, Ansel 4, worry-free now on, $9.95 a yard. And stones for our rock videos. Wasn't that bad. Little parquet wood floor, better. Parquet, better. And of course, steel grating. I don't have a dumb joke for this, aren't you glad? Now, I'm going to be recreating all the sound effects down here. When Don Johnson kicks open the door on the screen, I'm going to kick open this door. There's a scene at the end when the actor goes crashing through the glass window. Well, he dramatically hurls his body through the window, so I'm going to take my body and dramatically hurl this brick. What'd you expect? I'm just a tour guide. Okay, here we go. Don, get that door for me. Nice going. Doesn't ever knock or anything like that. Here we go, around the corner. Yes, I feel as stupid as I look doing this. Okay. Philip, what's that around the corner? Smells like a salad bar. Oh boy, yuck. Stay away from the tuna salad. Oh, got him. Oh, Don, shoot him. Ah. Nice going. Look out for the kitty litter. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. And the brick. Oops. Foam rubber brick. You see the looks on these faces, though. Toss it back up, you don't get to keep it. I didn't say hurl it. Well, these are great at parties, you know. There was still something missing from that. Can anybody tell me what that was? Hey, who said talent up there? Yeah, there was a sound effect, and it was?
Gunshots present special problems for sound editors. Real guns just don't sound dramatic enough. So they edit in special sound effects for every single gunshot in the soundtrack of Miami Vice.
I get a bang out of my job.
You think my jokes are...
Now the scene is complete. Let's play it back with music, Foley, gunshots, and dialogue all in the right places.
Trudy, you're not the scene. Go get us a pizza. Oh, I forgot to say no anchovies. I hate anchovies. So, the next time you watch Miami Vice, or any other show for that matter, think about the people behind the scenes, or the ones who really make the shows come to life.
Works for rocket engines, so it's nothing we do today. And of course then we saw some more contemporary effects, like for E.T. and television series. But here, I'd like to welcome you to Universal's 2010 set. This is where we're going to see state-of-the-art special effects that you've seen in movies such as these.
To the world of high-technology special effects, where the technicians of visual fantasy create a reality so convincing we can willingly believe in it. Fantastic effects, like the ones you've just seen, are conceived and brought to life by highly specialized motion picture artists using tools like the ones here.
Tool is a harsh word, Robert. Would it be acceptable for me to assume control at this point?
Please, be my guest. I'm sure we'd all like to hear the inside story.
Thank you, Robert. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the HAL 9000. HAL, you may have seen me in the motion picture 2001.
HAL.
Or in the more recent 2010.
Excuse me, HAL.
Is my performance satisfactory?
Oh, yes, it's quite nice. But would you please tell our guests about the process called motion control photography?
Demonstration in progress.
Thank you.
Motion control photography is a process in which we create the illusion of spaceships flying through the universe. In motion control, the model never moves. The camera does. As you can see, a computerized camera is now moving the length of the ship against a black background. By adding a field of stars, we now create the illusion of the ship flying through space.
Now that is the actual model of the Discovery on loan to us from MGM.
Demonstration complete.
Oh, thanks very much indeed, Hal. That was very nice. Now, in MGM's 2010, one of the most exciting sequences was that of a live spacewalk done by the astronauts. Now, of course, in order to reproduce that for you today, we need that all-important element, the live actor. And here we have our volunteers. It's Micah and Mark. And they're going to play our astronauts. It's Micah up front, and it's Mark behind. Well, Micah's going to be playing our Russian. He's done this many, many times. He's real strong and macho. Micah, let's see what your interpretation of strong and macho would be out there in space. Very good. Now, Mark, on the other hand, he's the American. He's never done this before. He's behind him. He's very nervous. Mark, can we see how nervous you are? Well, all right, that'll do. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to use state-of-the-art television equipment. We're going to put Mark and Micah together with background footage from the movie and the model of the Leonov, and we're going to make a complete live spacewalk right in front of your eyes. Now the scene we're going to see is fairly simple. Mark and Micah have arrived on board the spaceship Leonov, and they've established an orbit around Jupiter, where some very strange things are happening. Now their mission is to get to the other ship and find out why HAL here has shut its systems down. Now to do that, they must perform a simple spacewalk. So we need lights, camera, and action. Establish orbit, please.
Established. Prepare to engage mission. Colonel and Berlowski, come in. Colonel, are you ready?
I don't think I want to go through with this.
You don't have any choice. Stand by. I'm engaging the doors. Berlowski, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Officer Colonel, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I hear you.
Look at the screen.
Oh, God. Do not worry. And most of all, do not look down. Berlowski?
Look ahead of you. Look at Berlowski.
Have no fear, Colonel. There is nowhere to fall. Nowhere to fall. Right.
All right, gentlemen, we've got a problem. You better pick up some speed and get to Discovery. There's a moving object and it's coming your way.
There! Meteor, get close! Hurry! Hurry! Jupiter! He's moving into the gravitational field! I'm going after him!
Don't jeopardize the mission. If you're caught in the pool, you'll go.
I realize the risks. Hang on! Let's get back to the ship.
Yeah. No place to fall, huh?
Okay, so I lied.
Get to the ship. Hurry! Something's going on out there. Oh my God! It's Jupiter. It's imploding on itself. Get to the ship. Hurry! We've got to get out of here.
That's Jupiter imploding back there. I'd hurry if I were you guys. You know, Mike's pretty brave going to space a big hole in the seat of his pants, don't you think? Looks like they made it out. A big round of applause for Micah, Mark, Dave. Oh, that was incredible, you guys. Turn around. Yeah, turn around. Take a bow. Take a bow. You deserve it. Go for it. Take a nice big deep bow. There you go. Nice try. I love doing that. That was fantastic. You guys were unbelievable. That was just the best spacewalk I think I've ever seen. I thought the doors had never closed. I don't know. Was it just me, or did they make complete astronauts out of themselves? Well, what you've just witnessed is a composite. We combine our live actors and background footage of 2010, models of Leonov and Discovery, all into one exciting sequence. After all this, what could be left to see?
Now you have a better idea how these effects are created. And after all this, what could be left to see?
Well, actually, Mr. Wagner, I can't...
Actually, Mr. Wagner, quite a lot. This is where I take over, right? Introduction, please.
Almost forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Vector, the heart and soul of digital animation. How's that, Vector?
That's more like it. Let me try and pull myself together.
Good idea. You're a mess, and you look silly like that.
There we go. Now, like the man said, my name is Vector.
Hey, Vector, why don't you show us what you crazy digital types do for the movies?
Sure. We digital types don't need fancy models like the ones you've just seen. Here, let me show you. Here we are at Digital Productions. At this moment, an artist is creating a spaceship. Once he's finished with the design, we encode it into our computers. Now that the image is in our memory, it's a simple matter to move it around. Watch. With the vector lines in the system, it's a matter of filling in the blanks. Here's the vector test. Now a low resolution test to be sure we have the right moves. And now the completed sequence. Once we have something in our memory, we can do almost anything. For instance, the director wanted this ship to look like me, polished metal, but he could have asked for glass. Or marble. Nothing's too hard for us. Nothing. And while we can do all kinds of things, the most important thing we do is to make drawings come to life in the movies, just like we did in the last Starfighter. Watch this, folks, and remember, there's not one model in what you're about to see.
There's not one model. I knew you'd say that.
See you later.
Bye.
It's been a pleasure being with you today on our tour through the special effects stage.
Got any old cliches, Bob?
I'll see you in the movie.
That's a good one. Well, folks, I certainly hope you've enjoyed your trip through the special effects stages. Now, please give me one moment to get in front of the group, and we'll lead you back out to the trams.
Special Effects Studios. Vamos para otros. Vamos abordando los temas.
Then you just go do whatever you want. Yeah, I think off here.
Vaya, yo le pide, mami.
As you look around in here, you'll realize that anything can be a prop. It can be a piece of artwork, it can be a paperweight, it can be a grand piano. A lot of the antiques in here are real and were purchased at various estate auctions throughout the country. Now, a lot of the other things are created by our various fabrication shops throughout our technical building. For instance, on the driver's side of the tram, you'll see some large black cats. These black cats were used in the movie Cat People with Nastasia Kinski and Malcolm McDowell. Two of them were later used on the tower, or clock tower, in Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. Now that was a Steven Spielberg production. Needed another one of his films right over here in Soundstage 37 on the driver's side of the tram. The Color Purple, starring Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey. Many of the interior scenes were done in there. Although that was a Warner Brothers release, Steven Spielberg has his offices here on the lot and found our soundstage very convenient to use. It is now the home of the new Hollywood Squares, hosted by John Davidson, with people like Shadow Stevens and Jim J. Bullock. Many of your other favorite stars are on that. They're right over there, behind those pine trees is where they go in for that. That's one of the live shows that tape throughout here. Now, they're not taping today, but a lot of shows are taping in the area. When you get back up to the entertainment center, stop by our TV ticket booth and ask about the tickets. They're absolutely free. Some of the shows offer a shuttle service to and from the show. All the rest are within about 10 minutes from here, and it's a lot of fun. A guaranteed way to see stars perform live on stage. I think you'd really enjoy that. Now, up on my side of the tram is a technical building where we build things like those large black cats. Our technical building houses our lumberyard, our mill, our paint department, our plastering department, our fiberglassing shop, our metalworking shop, our sign making shop, our auto finishing department, and our special effects department. We can make almost anything here you can imagine, probably have. Our lumberyard houses enough wood to build a small town, which sometimes becomes necessary. If we can't find a town we like on location, we'll just build one of our own. There's a kid car from the Knight Rider series on the driver's side of the tram, an excellent example where auto finishing shops work. You've seen their work in shows like the A-Team and, of course, Back to the Future when we constructed 4 DMC DeLorean time machines. As a matter of fact, right here in our transportation section, we have 4 brand new unused DMC DeLoreans right now inside of the building on the driver's side of the tram being converted into time machines for the upcoming Back to the Future 2, which I mentioned earlier. As I say, that will be going into production this winter and will be released next summer, so you can look forward to that coming out. And a lot of other interesting and exciting movies and TV shows on the way. As we leave the transportation area, we'll kind of go back to the future ourselves, or maybe back into the past. Up on my side of the tram, you'll see one of the oldest structures on our back lot. We have an old bridge up here constructed back around 1916. It's over 70 years old, and at one time was the only way to get from one area of the back lot to the other. Makes an excellent picture from this angle. That pond it's sitting on used to be a full-footed stream that ran down the middle and filled up that gully below. We've since dammed that in and pumped that area out so we could build down there. The bridge was used in some of our old westerns. Really, did you see that? One of the beams fell off the bottom. Yeah. Anyway, it was used in a lot of our old... I think I just saw another thing fall. Something. Did you see that? No problem? Well, we're just going to go around then, right? We're going to go over. And he also might raise, and was also seen our voyage to New York Street. That's where a segue. And you'll recognize a lot of these sets from shows like Columbo, McCloud, Simon & Simon, Murder, She Wrote, movies like The Torn Curtain, Alfred Hitchcock's film, Earthquake, and many, many more. Now, Murder, She Wrote has been filming out here. And you can see some of the police cars and so on. These are picture cars on my side of the tram. That police station that's sitting in front of used to be Kojak's police precinct in that series, starring Telly Savalas. And these taxi cabs and so forth are being used for the Blue Cross commercial shoot. We needed to film in a downtown area, and this is the best way to do that right out here at Universal Studios. Gives you an idea what a dress set looks like. Now this area is known as Brownstone Street. This was Old Chicago in the movie The Sting with Robert Redford and Paul Newman. And if you're a fan of the old Abbott and Costello series, this is where they lived. And if you've seen the Columbia Pictures film Annie, this is where Annie chased her dog as well. Very popular area. We're heading into even more popular areas. We round the corner. Lori's going to get us up to 88 miles per hour and tell us after the future. Well, we didn't quite make it to 88, so I guess we'll have to stay in the present. But up ahead on the driver's side of the tram, you'll see the talent theater that Michael J. Fox ran into when he arrived back to 1985. Welcome to the middle of Hill Valley. On my side of the tram, the green building on the corner was a malt shop where Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, met his father, played by Crispin Glover, when he traveled back to 1955. And of course, on the driver's side of the tram, you see the clock tower from Back to the Future. We've taken the clock down. It now sits back in our property warehouse where those big black cats are kept. And You may also recognize this area from another Steven Spielberg film. It was The Dead of Winter. The area was covered entirely in snow. Now this film was directed by Joe Dante and released by Warner Brothers. We put out Christmas trees and Christmas lights, made it look very Christmassy, and then rated it with those nasty little green guys with the sharp teeth in Gremlins. This was also Kingston Falls from Gremlins. If you're a fan of the older musicals, you may recognize this as River City in the Warner Brothers musical, The Music Man. He led his band of 76 trombones right down those courthouse steps and across that courtyard area. And also, if you've seen Bye Bye Birdie, Conrad Birdie saying goodbye to all his fans when he went off to war right from those courthouse steps as well. This is by far the most photographed area we have here on the Universal lot. You've seen it in Murder, She Wrote, Simon & Simon. It was used in our Bates Motel TV movie with Bud Cort. It gets used all the time. It can be filmed from almost any area because it has buildings surrounding it completely and makes it a very handy set to use. As we move up farther, we're crossing New York Street once again, just so we can take you into another section of New York. Inside of one of our largest sound stages, we constructed a full-size mock-up of the Brooklyn Bridge and surrounding area. It's a fantastic set. I think you'll really enjoy it, and you'll get some good pictures if you set your camera to flash in here. We are depicting a nighttime scene. You'll be amazed how authentic this set looks inside. Look inside the apartment building, you see a full working interiors and everything. There's an elevated railway, and L train runs over the top. Wait a minute, a train crash. Lori, what's going on in here? Everything's broken.
Latest word just in. The path of destruction continues in causing thousands to flee their homes. Police admit they are powerless to stop the enraged beast. Military units are rushing to the scene. Police are
Wait a minute, that's where we are.
Thank you, Senator. We're now hovering above the wreckage of a crushed L train. The helicopter beside us is searching for... Wait! There's a tramload of people down there. We've got to go down and board them. Attention, people on the tram. You are in danger.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, wait a minute. My back cars. Look out. Get down. Oh, Lord, get us out of here before that fire spreads the tram. Hang on, folks. There's helicopter fuel everywhere. Hold on, Army. Wait a minute. What's that up on the bridge ahead? Oh, no, it's King Kong, and he's got the bridge, ladies and gentlemen. Lori, what are we slowing down for? No, the storm. We're not going to make it across. This bridge is going to hold us much longer. We're going to... Uh-oh, hold on. Look out! You people in the back cars, hang on. Oh, I don't like the looks of this at all. Hang on back there. Whatever you do, don't make it sound like a banana. Hold on, folks. Oh, I hope nobody's running yellow back there. We'll have you out of here just a minute. Wait a minute. Yes, they cleared the roadway up ahead. Let's make it run fair. Let's get out of here. Wow, oh wow. What an adventure. I guess I should say congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Or maybe I shouldn't. You just survived Universal Studios' largest animation, King Kong. King Kong stands over 30 feet tall and weighs in at over 13,000 pounds. 600 pounds of that weight, believe it or not, is hair. It's operated by hydraulics and has over 29 different computer-controlled movements and facial expressions. Yes, your noses did not deceive you either. King Kong even has banana breath. Yuck. Well, as we leave King Kong and catch our breath and settle down a bit, on my side of the tram, this green and white boat you may recognize. If you're a fan of the series Simon & Simon, because it belongs to Rick Simon. It's called Hole in the Water, named after an old saying that says a boat is just a woodline hole in the water in which you pour money. If you ever rode a boat, you know exactly what they mean by that. Now, I'm sure you've noticed we never throw anything away here at Universal Studios. Reminds me of my apartment. These trucks were used in the movie MacArthur, giant shopping cart for the Incredible Shrinking Woman with Lily Tomlin. It's hard to tell from here, but that shopping cart stands over 7 feet tall. The riverboat facade was used in the 1953 film Mississippi Gambler with Tyrone Power. And get a good look at the lake it's sitting on. That lake was the whole Pacific Ocean for McHale's Navy. there. PT-73 is moored on this dock and never left this area. Now, as we travel through here, be careful. There's still some old mines and torpedoes, and you just never know when one might go off. Well, you may never know, but I do. Well, as we move forward, Rory, wait a minute. Did we turn the wrong way? No? We can't back up, can we? Can anybody swim here? No. Actually, I'm sure you've been waiting for this the whole tour. Here's our big chance. I'm sure if you've seen the 10 Commandments, you remember the parting of the Red Seas. We're going to do that together. On the count of 3, I need everybody to yell out, "Part the waters," together, okay? Now do your best Charlton Heston impression or it won't work. So remember, part the waters on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Part the waters! Very nice. Good Charlton Heston impressions back there, too, I'll tell you. Especially this lady up front. It's perfect. Well, there goes the parting of the Red Seas. This was accomplished quite a bit differently on film, actually. When Charlton Heston needed to part the Red Seas, it was done using the matte painting process. They matted in 10,000 extras walking down a road, along with a couple of waterfalls that had been filmed. And the film had been run in reverse to make them appear to be going uphill. We matted that into the middle of an ocean, gave the effect of the waters parting. As we move through here, let me stress it is important to remain in your seats. Keep your arms and legs inside at all times. For your own safety, don't worry, you'll get good pictures out both sides of the tram. So everybody please have a seat. In fact, on the driver's side of the tram, we get a picture of the lagoon used in the movie The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And over on my side, this is the island of Bora Bora. Uh-oh, look out, a mine just popped up. Get down, look out! Oh, whose mine was that anyway? Is that your mine? That was my mine. Boy, I lost your mine. Oh, if you don't mind, never mind. I don't mind. Uh-oh, look out, there's another one back there. Get down! Oof, I thought my jokes were bombing. Well, up on my side of the tram, this green building was a monkey bar and grill used in the Tales of the Gold Monkey series with Stephen Collins. And that was also the Castaways Hotel from our Gilligan's Island TV movie. Now, those palm trees next to it, they look pretty sad right now. Well, those are just portable palm trees. They're made out of styrofoam and fiberglass. We just got real palm fronds off the real trees that grow in this area. Put them into a little rack that snaps onto the top. We have some very realistic looking palm trees we can put anywhere we want. Lightweight and easy to move. And this little park area on the driver's side of the tram was used as a park in the movie with Martin Short and Ed O'Toole called Cross My Heart last year. It was also used as a golf course in the movie The Sting with Robert Redford and Paul Newman. And how many of you remember Bill Bixby in The Incredible Hulk? Remember that series? Well, Bill Bixby played Dr. David Banner at the beginning of the show. He would go out and visit his own grave out there. Well, it was right in that area. Those are plastic tombstones he was crying over. That was also used by Alfred Hitchcock as a graveyard for his movie Family Plot with Karen Black and Bruce Dern. He had the names of his worst critics engraved on his tombstones. Sounds fair to me. I'd love to get a hold of that Siskel and Ebert tombstone. On my side here is a kind of a high-rent Fifth Avenue district area. Doesn't look like much now because it's an undressed set. Doesn't have a nice fresh coat of paint, but if it did with an added butler and maybe a limo on front, looked like a very expensive place to live. On the driver's side of the tram from the movie Spartacus, these stairs were used by Sir Laurence Olivier to address his Roman troops. And, well, I certainly hope you brought your passports with you today because we're heading now up into Little Europe. Now, if you were planning a trip to Little Europe, or to Europe, this might be a big disappointment to you. Don't worry, Europe's actually much larger than this. But it does enough for us. It was used in Frankenstein, Dracula, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Also seen in films like All Quiet on the Western Front and Madam X. There could be any small European town in the world. Just change the language around. The cobblestones beneath us are created by pressing a mold into wet cement. Now, if you'd like to get a really nice picture of the Little Europe set, get your cameras ready on the driver's side of the tram. Just after the corner of the building here, there's a stone archway there. If you take a picture underneath that archway, it makes a very realistic and effective picture of that area. Another set of old props and pieces of hardware, mostly hydraulic rams, rotating room, thunder machines, stuff like that. Very special effects props. You just never know when you can use them again. And this large building is going to be Universal Studios' newest attraction. This is going to be Earthquake. Now, I'm not allowed to give too many details away, but starting right around the Christmas season, the tram will pull into a San Francisco Bay Area set and experience an 8.3 earthquake. And as I say, I can't give away too many details, but I can tell you there'll be a fiery train wreck and a flood of over 60,000 gallons of water coming within inches of the tram. It's going to be pretty exciting, being created by the people who created King Kong for us, so you can look forward to that. And if you have a little time to visit Universal on your Christmas vacation, you'll see Earthquake. On my side, there's church. Imagine having a wedding in there, doing almost a short stroll up the aisle. These Western sets, most of them have small doorways, like on my side of the tram. These small doorways that create an illusion. You put a 5'9" tall cowboy actor into one of those doorways, suddenly appears to be bigger than life, big and brawny, and fizzy fills up the whole doorway. Now the brickwork on these walls is done in foam rubber. Makes it easy for the actors. They get slammed against the wall in a fight scene. It doesn't hurt quite so badly. If you've seen the movie The War Wagon, you might recognize it on my side of the tram, that gray stagecoach was the War Wagon. I know it's supposed to be made out of reinforced iron, actually it's plywood transport. And on my side of the tram, Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox from The Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. And looking over on the driver's side of the tram, Amity Island welcomes you. You might remember this nice little resort town where a certain shark was known to have lunch from time to time. We're going to pull into Amity, take a nice look around, and wait a minute. Boy, that old fisher guy's back out there. Excuse me, mister, you can't fish out here. You need to move your boat. Sir, excuse me. I think he's asleep. Mister, wake up. You got a... Uh-oh, you got a shark headed towards you. Mister, if I were you, I'd move my boat. Pal, get up on the pier and move your boat. You gotta... If you don't get up on the pier, you're in big trouble. Mister, move your boat. Wake up. He's gonna... Oh, no.
Let me record.
I tried to warn you. A lot of guts fishing on this lake. Oh, look, there's some of them now floating to the top. Keep an eye on that yellow buoy out there. There's a hook on the bottom with meat on it. We have a chain to the pier. If we get the shark to take the bait, maybe we can catch him once and for all. Hang on. Uh-oh, look out, he's taking the buoy and the pier. Hold on!
Oh my God, Dad! Hey.
Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You've just survived Bruce, the world's largest rubber shark. Bruce the shark measures over 25 feet long. He weighs in at over 2,000 pounds. It's also the only shark I know of that can swim backwards. Now, Bruce the shark's skin was molded from the same molds the original sharks and jaws are taken from. As he goes underwater, he'll do his whale impression for you. Arr, she blows. Now, as we move away from the Amity Island cell, we'll be heading down into Old Mexico. Now look quickly on my side of the tram. You see these tarps underneath them, rather ominous shapes. Well, we have 4 25-foot long rubber sharks used in Jaws the Revenge. You know, you never want to throw that stuff away. How many times have you been looking through your closet going, where did I put that 25-foot rubber shark? You realize you threw it out a week before, just when you needed it. It happens every time. Whoa, look at this, Lori, it's raining down here. Wait a minute. Folks, it's only raining on the driver's side of the tram. It's sunny and clear on my side. I guess that's what the weatherman means when he says 50% chance of rain. Now you see our picturesque little Mexican village, the adobe buildings are actually made out of plywood, chicken wire, and plaster. Of course, that's what most of your houses are made of, so that's no big deal. And a little babbling brook running down the middle of the street there. Listen close, you can almost hear it babble. Can you hear that? Uh-oh, wait a minute, that's not babbling. That's rumbling. Oh no, there's a flash flood headed down the hill. You people in the back, move over, get your cameras out of the way. I'm not kidding. Look out for that tree. Look at that, a bunch of people would not get out of the way of the real water, but they ducked out of the way of the fake tree. Well, anyway, that flash flood effect was created by dropping over 10,000 gallons of water on the side of this hill at one time. We then take that water, we pump it back up to the top of the hill into holding tanks, then drop it on the next tram as they come through here. By the way, if you got any of that water on you back there, don't worry, it's movie water, it'll wash right off. The rain is provided by sprinklers in the tops of the buildings up in the trees. They shoot the water up in the air and falls back to the ground like natural rainfall. Keep an eye on that tree as we pull out as well, it'll stand itself right back up again. It's made of a special type of wood so it can do that. Does anybody know what kind of wood that is? Well, it's Hollywood, of course. Oh, this gets worse and worse. We're now in the middle of Old Mexico, as seen in the Orion Pictures release of Three Amigos of Martin Short, Chevy Chase, and Steve Martin. And if you watch Simon and Simon, this is where Gerald McCraney and James Parker go, and they need to go on location in Mexico. Ooh, another illusion, I'll bet. Oh, he's about to get a nice vacation of Mazatlan or something. Wrong out. This barn was seen, this end of it was seen in My Little Chickadee with Martin Short. What am I saying? My Little Chickadee with W.C. Fields at Mae West. A little scrambled information there. We're in the middle of 6 Points, Texas. We call this 6 Points because there are actually 6 different western roads all leading into one central area. Back in the silent film days, we could film 6 different westerns out here all at one time. See, back in those days, we didn't have to worry about sound, so we could film sets side by side, back to back, one right next to the other. Now, most recently, this was used in Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury's little town of Colton. So if you get pictures of this, you can show it to your friends when you watch Murder, She Wrote this year, and show them how you were in Colton before they ever got to see it. Now they changed things around a little bit. As you can see, they added some street signs and the county sheriff office. If we wanted this to look like a western set, it'd be very simple. We would just add some dirt to the streets, some tumbleweeds, a couple of gunfighters. We have an instant western set. And also on my side of the trim, this end of the barn was the home of Francis the Talking Mule in that popular series of films with Donald O'Connor. To get Francis the Mule up there to talk, we put peanut butter in the roof of the mule's mouth, and while the mule was trying to lick the peanut butter out of the roof of his mouth, we put in the words we wanted. When you get home, you might want to try it on your dog or cat and find some fun or work for a while. Don't try it with a canary though, it just doesn't work. I tried that at home. Well, as we move up farther, we're going to get another view of our Amity Island set. And you Murder, She Wrote fans may recognize this as one of the major sets used in Murder, She Wrote. Angela Lansbury, playing the part of Jessica Fletcher, rides a little bicycle through here all the time, without the shark, of course. How many of you watch Murder, She Wrote, by the way? Do we have a lot of fans? Oh, a bunch of you. I don't know about you people, but if Jessica Fletcher invited me to a dinner party, I wouldn't go. I don't know. That woman's bad luck. Every week somebody gets bumped off, somebody else gets blamed for it. My luck, I'd be one or the other. Now, here's a big surprise. The houses on the driver's side of the tram are used in Murder, She Wrote. They were originally used in a classic film, To Kill a Mockingbird, of Gregory Peck and Robert Duvall. That was a winner of 2 Academy Awards. And on my side of the tram, another famous house, Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch, the best little whorehouse in Texas. How many of you remember the best little whorehouse? Oh, that's great. How many of you remember the movie? Now, wait a minute. This man only raised his hand the first time. Well, that starred Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. They were not the only people considered to play the roles of the sheriff and Miss Mona. Those roles were originally offered to Willie Nelson and Shirley MacLaine. I don't know, you figure it out. The house was originally constructed inside of a soundstage and then later on moved out here. And surprisingly enough, it's been seen in Murder, She Wrote. Big deal, huh? Actually, Murder, She Wrote, Cabot Cove, Maine exists almost entirely on the Universal Studios back lot. If you thought they were out in Maine, they're right here most of the time. This house on the driver's side of the tram was used as a sorority house in the movie Animal House of late John Belushi. Right next to that, Jimmy Stewart lived in this house. His invisible rabbit friend named Harvey. There's Harvey now. Hi, Harvey. What are you looking at? He's invisible. Right after that, the Munsters House, 1313 Mockingbird Lane, home of Marilyn Eddy and Herman Munster. On my side, number 671 is the home of the Virgin Connie Swale and Dragnet with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd. This house, believe it or not, on my side is brand new. That was constructed for the movie The Burbs. A new motion picture being directed by Joe Dante and released by Universal Studios. In that movie, that house gets blown up, obviously, and to blow up a house like that, it's a very precise art. It took them over 2 weeks of engineering and explosives work to get that to blow up just right. This area is used as Mayfield for the new Leave It to Beaver with Jerry Mathers, Tony Dow, and Barbara Billingsley. This brick building on my side of the tram was used as a sanitarium in the movie Harvey with Jimmy Stewart. He spent some time there trying to convince people he really did have an invisible rabbit friend. And the bluish gray house with mustard-colored trim was the Doris Day James Garner comedy, The Thrill of It All. James Garner drove his car in the swimming pool in the backyard. The yellow house next to that was used in the movie The Hardy Boys, or the TV show The Hardy Boys. And most recently, that'll be seen in The Burbs as well. That belongs to Bruce Dern in the movie, and he plays a part of a Vietnam vet. Now, in the movie The Burbs, which will be released this spring, a strange family moves into this quiet little suburban neighborhood and just turns things upside down. It's an action comedy. Now, Joe Dante released Gremlins, and he also directed Interspace. He's known for his kind of surrealistic and wacky style of directing. And this movie being released this spring promises to be very funny. It has some big-name stars. We have Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, Carrie Fisher, Gail Gordon, you might remember playing Mr. Mooney in the Here's Lucy series for a number of years, and Corey Feldman, one of the popular teen actors. You can look forward to that once again in the spring of '89. Now, Burbs, of course, is short for suburbs, and that may not be the title that it's released under. A lot of times movies will be shot under different titles. Now, on a more serious note, use your imaginations for just a moment. Imagine a lone young woman driving down this very road. She's been driving all night long, trying to forget a past she'd rather not remember. She's made a terrible mistake. Well, she's out in the middle of nowhere. She gets caught in a terrible rainstorm and realizes she better try to find somewhere to stay for the night, somewhere safe. She looks through a rain-streaked windshield and sees a flashing neon sign in the distance. The sign says Bates Motel. The young lady checks into room 1 of the Bates Motel, takes a nice warm shower, and never checks out. Yes, on the driver's side of the trail we get a picture of the most recognizable and infamous facade of our lot, the Psycho House. The house that Alfred Hitchcock built. Also seen in Psycho 2 and Psycho 3. As we move around the corner, we'll be heading past the Bates Motel, taking a closer look at that. And also, on my side of the tram, look in front of the Psycho House. You'll see the stairway that Norman Bates used for access to the back of the Bates Motel. See that dirt path in the middle? You never saw that on film. It was just too terrifying. That's the psychopath. Ooh, I know, you're moaning now, but you go home and tell that to your friends. You'll laugh. Well, as we round the corner, we're approaching the front of the Bates Motel. It's been renovated recently for our Bates Motel TV movie, which starred Bud Ford. He was a co-star, of course, of Harold and Maude. The Bates Motel TV movie was a pilot for a proposed TV series. It was not picked up. And it did run again just a couple months ago on NBC TV. The first open doorway was Norman Bates' office. You remember he offered Janet Leigh a nice peanut butter sandwich in there. And then she checked into room 1 and began her shower. And never finished it. You remember that shower scene when Janet Leigh's character was stabbed to death? It took over 70 different camera setups and over 7 days to shoot. Imagine how wrinkly Janet Leigh's skin was after that. It only lasts 45 seconds on the screen. A very memorable 45 seconds, you must admit. Alfred Hitchcock went to all of this trouble because he wanted to create an absolutely terrifying scene and just bombard you with these images of Janet Leigh's character getting stabbed to death. Well, he succeeded quite well. In fact, the scene was almost edited out of the movie by the censors. They said it's too gory and too bloody and too awful. By the way, that blood you saw rushing down the drain getting splattered on the wall, it's not movie blood. You see, Alfred Hitchcock didn't think the movie blood is realistic enough. He found there's only one fluid that looks exactly like human blood in black and white film. We had no choice. He was the boss. We had to use it. That's right, chocolate syrup. Makes perfect human blood in black and white film. That's exactly what he used. All these empty trams make me nervous. I don't know if they got by here. Norman Bates isn't home right now, and they still got the music playing. I don't know, that would anybody in the mood that stabbed somebody. On my side of the tram, talk about weird neighbors. This is the home of Wally and the Beaver from the original Leave It to Beaver. Right next to that, this is a 2-story facade, temporarily moved up here. See how the brickwork was done in fiberglass? And the little green and brown building next to that, don't bother taking a picture of that, it's just a portable restroom. On the driver's side of the tram is the log cabin used in the great outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. And that's going to be seen this fall on our TV show, you guessed it, Murder, She Wrote, with Angela Lansbury. So get a good look at it. The little lake and the waterfall and the cave over there are also seen in the great outdoors. The lake feeds underneath this road via a pipeline over to my side of the tram and fills up this larger lake. Used in Shaw's The Revenge. This time, it's personal. The backdrop in the distance is the largest backdrop ever constructed in Hollywood. It's painted to look like a sky. Used to block out the Burbank skyline in the distance. The lake itself holds over 3 million gallons of water and is large enough to water ski on. In fact, our Miami Vice stunt team learned to ride their jet skis right out there on that lake. Now, as we head up farther, Lori, we're in snow country. You're supposed to take a left at Albuquerque. That'll never work for Bugs Bunny either. Well, as we move up, use your imaginations once again, folks. Imagine we're a band of intrepid travelers who've been trudging through these mountains for weeks. We get to the top, we're confronted by a huge glacier. Well, there's only one way through, the treacherous ice tunnel. We see a big yellow sign to the left that warns that it's icky in here. We better watch out. It's an icky tunnel. As we move into the gaping maw of the tunnel, our eyes become round with fear, our hearts fill with dread. We look nervously at one another and huddle together for warmth. Everybody huddle together, look nervous. As we move into the tunnel, we realize one wrong move, one wrong step, even the wrong sound could create a terrible, deadly cave-in. Suddenly somebody sneezes. Phew, there's a terrible cave-in, and everybody screams. There's a terrible cave-in, and everybody screams. And you thought my jokes were sickening. Well, I think one good turn deserves another, don't you? You people know what your clothes feel like in the dryer. You just survived Universal's ice tunnel. That sensation of dizziness and vertigo is created by rotating the cylindrical tunnel around us. The tram remained level at all times, so why were you leaning? The rumbling sound you heard was created by our Academy Award-winning Sense-Around system, and that sickening, gut-wrenching sensation of motion you felt was created by Lori, our driver. Thanks, Lori. And on my side, if you look down, once again, you'll see our shark attack lake used in Jaws the Revenge. This time, it's personal. I love saying that any chance I get. And another nice view of the Universal Backlot. In the distance, the Burbank Studios, home of Warner Brothers and Columbia Pictures, coming out this Friday. Look out for the new Universal Universal Warner Brothers release, Gorillas in the Mist, the true story of Diane Fossey, starring Sigourney Weaver. And in the distance, Disney Studios. And they've just released Who Framed Roger Rabbit, directed by Robert Zemeckis, produced by Steven Spielberg, who once again are teaming up this winter to produce Back to the Future 2, coming out next summer. And we've shown you a lot of movie magic down on our Backlot today. I hope it's given you a little appreciation for the amount of creativity it takes to make the magic you see come to life on the screen. And with that, we end the guided portion of the tour. But it's not the end of the fun. We're now taking you back to our entertainment center, where you can see our 5 live shows. The Miami Vice Action Spectacular, where you'll see 50 death-defying stunts performed in an incredible 15 minutes. The Adventures of Conan, a sword and sorcery spectacular, where you'll see Conan and Red Sonja fight an 18-foot tall fire-breathing dragon live on stage. Don't miss the Animal Actors stage, where you'll see some of Hollywood's best-trained animals perform their tricks for you. And the Western Stunt Show, fistfights, gunfights, and bone-jarring falls, presented by our Western stuntmen. And our newest show, the Star Trek Adventure, presented by Paramount Pictures. You'll see Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock perform with some of your friends and relatives up on stage. You'll choose about 30 people to perform this show right out of the audience. And you'll be attacked by aliens, shot at by Klingons. You'll have a great time. They'll even videotape your performance, give you a chance to purchase a copy at the end. Now, if you still manage to maintain an appetite even after the ice tunnel, stop by any one of our nice sidewalk cafes throughout the park. Just open the Moulin Rouge Cafe in the French Quarter of our new Streets of the World set. And from American Graffiti, you'll find Mel's Diner, where you get a great 1950s style hamburger fries and all. And around the park, you'll find the Kid Car from the Night Rider series, Pacific Photo Express, excellent 1-hour photo developing, and soundtracks where you can make your own rock video or audio tape. We even have show tunes and standards. You'll also be able to eat just outside the park at Victoria Station, Tony Romer's, and Fun Love. If you have any questions at all, feel free to walk up. I'll be at the front of the tram. Glad to answer anything I can. If you enjoyed the tour, don't forget, my name is Paul. If you did not enjoy the tour, my name is George, if anyone asks, okay? Thanks for coming along.